Sharks are known to be apex predators, but even these creatures have things that they're scared of, like this unexpected feathery animal and a recreational activity that thrill seekers love. But first, let's take a look at this vision-impairing parasite. Number 10. Omatocoita elongata. I spy with my little eye something that starts with the letter O. However, if you are a Pacific sleeper shark or a Greenland shark, you will most likely see nothing due to an ectoparasite on your eye called Omatocoita. Omatocoita elongata and Omatocoita superba, two species of big, deep-water dwelling sharks, are the only two currently recognized species, and they are only found on the eyes of these sharks. Borushinska, Vence, and Whitley captured and extracted the eyes of 6 Greenland sharks in 1998. However, whether this benefited the sharks in any way was not reported, and all sharks were infected. Omatocoita elongata transformed adult females were all observed. The adult female copepod uses an anchoring mechanism called the bulba to attach herself to the shark's eye and grazes on the surface of the cornea, dangling from the shark's eyes like a grotesque tassel. Please excuse me as I double-check my eyes for any possible parasites. Ugh. While the parasite can cause considerable corneal damage and blindness in the host, most sharks appear unharmed by the parasite's presence, and many sharks carry the copepod in both eyes. Number 9. Leopard seals. Leopard seals are top predators that feed on a wide variety of food, including pinnipeds, fish, and birds. They are circumpolar, with some individuals venturing further north to the continents and islands of the Southern Ocean. Leopard seals are becoming more common in New Zealand, and some have been seen for years on the country's coastline. In a world first, New Zealand leopard seals have been seen feeding on sharks, joining a small and exclusive club of marine predators that do so. The study, conducted by Krista Vanderlind of leopardseals.org, discovered shark remains in leopard seal scats, as well as obvious evidence of fights with sharks on seals' bodies, showing that the marine mammals predate on sharks rather than scavenge their remains. Sharks have few natural predators, which are largely other sharks, which is why the study's findings shocked researchers. Leopard seals, on the other hand, are already known as apex predators due to their predation on penguins and fellow seals, and other observations reveal they are much tougher than previously assumed. Number 8. Seagulls. On a New Jersey beach, a seagull was seen on camera assaulting and consuming a young shark, an area that is increasingly plagued by hostile birds. The incident was captured on video, and it shows the small shark squirming while a giant gull pecks at it from overhead. As a second opportunistic opponent arrives, the bird consumes the majority of its prey. All of this was filmed by a beachgoer named Rebecca Stout. Sharks generally frighten gulls, but not when they're on land. The birds now treat the sharks as if they would any other discarded critter. They'll congregate around the helpless sharks and start picking at them, looking for soft places, which are generally the eyes. On August 12, 2019, the video was originally uploaded to YouTube. Ocean City seagulls will literally eat anything. There is a plethora of food around this guy, but for some reason he felt the urge to take a plunge into the water and snag a shark, Stout wrote in a caption that appeared beneath the video. The footage may not surprise Ocean City Mayor Jay Gillian, who cautioned a month before that feeding the area's increasingly bold seagulls and wildlife is illegal. Number 7. Giant moray eel. Giant moray eels are the largest of all morays in terms of body mass. They can grow to be 9.8 feet long and 66 pounds. They primarily live in tropical waters in the Indo-Pacific region, stretching from East Africa to the Hawaiian Islands. They can be dangerous due to their enormous size and have attacked underwater divers. However, unless provoked, they usually leave humans alone. Other creatures on the reef, on the other hand, are less fortunate. Even sharks are vulnerable to these slender, cave-dwelling marine carnivores. There isn't much a small white-tip reef shark can do when a huge moray ambushes it as it rests on a coral. Struggling in the giant eel's jaws, the shark can only wish the eel would release. That, however, does not occur. The enormous moray maneuvers the small shark into its mouth and swallows it alive, all the way to the shark's tail. Moray eels have a second set of jaws called pharyngeal jaws that allow them to do this. These additional jaws have strong teeth of their own and are effectively employed to subdue struggling animals. Although the moray eel appears to have defeated the reef shark, it regurgitates the shark and swims away. Perhaps the shark was too large for the hungry eel's stomach, or the eel didn't like the flavor of the shark. Well, whatever the reason, the shark swims away unharmed, although it might now have PTSD from the situation. Number 6. Octopus. The giant Pacific octopus appears to be one of the most terrifying creatures of the deep. It can grow to be 20 feet long and reach speeds of up to 25 miles an hour. To catch its prey, each of its 8 arms include 2 rows of suckers that can be deployed to construct a deadly parachute. A large mouth in the center of its massive body includes a frightening toothed tongue. One of the giant creatures is an attraction at one aquarium in Seattle, Washington, and employees realized something weird was going on. The Seattle Aquarium also has a dogfish shark population, and staff there couldn't figure out why so many of them were missing, leaving just partially damaged corpses behind. That is, until they investigated what their giant Pacific octopus was doing. After setting up cameras to film the massive beast overnight, they discovered it was as terrible as it appeared, and was meticulously murdering any sharks that came near it. The octopus would struggle the sharks, frequently turning them upside down to paralyze them, then feeding on their flesh until it had had enough of them and discarding them before moving on. As the octopus lies on the tank floor, it can be seen reaching out and capturing a shark as it swims by before biting it. Number 5. Red tide. Every year, a deadly algae bloom known as red tide decimates coastal Florida, killing all species of fish and driving sharks out of their natural habitat. Last July in 2021, hundreds of sharks poured into people's backyard canals in Longboat Key, Florida, to avoid the red tide, which irritates the creatures. During the red tide, which may tint ocean water a tangerine red, diminish oxygen levels in the water, and concentrate toxins in the water, bonnethead, blacktip, nurse, and lemon sharks have all been observed in Florida canals. Changes in the water can affect marine life, particularly sharks, and induce congestion and rashes in humans, as well as more catastrophic reactions such as paralysis and death, particularly when consuming seafood. Sharks, according to experts, are particularly vulnerable to the algae. They believe it is due to divergence from bony fish, as sharks have cartilage. Because of this breakaway, sharks can withstand red tide blooms while remaining sensitive to them. Sharks, rather than dying, simply seek to get away. Number 4. Dive cages. Sharks are one of the most formidable and dominant predator species in the ocean, as well as the most feared. The excitement of entering the ocean and swimming with sharks is at the top of many adrenaline junkies and adventurers' bucket lists. That's why shark cage diving can be quite appealing to them. While no one has perished from a shark attack while cage diving with sharks, the activity is undoubtedly dangerous to the sharks. A shark has already died after becoming entangled in the bars of a cage and bleeding to death before falling to the ocean below. While this is the only reported death, there have been several anecdotal reports of great whites being entangled in between cage bars, posing a significant risk to both the animal and the diver. And with that, it's now time for today's best pick. For our next entry, we'll be meeting one creature that turned from scavenger to hunter. But do sharks need to fear it? Find out more about it next. Number 3. Giant isopods. In the deep sea's total creatures. According to studies, they are not only intelligent, but also capable of displaying feelings such as happiness and depression, to name a few. In fact, people have always been fascinated by their behavior in general. This is especially true in terms of how they interact with other aquatic life, specifically with sharks. Dolphins, although being one of the ocean's cutest aquatic species, have been known to kill sharks. As opposed to a frolicking dolphin image, this behavior is rather violent. When a dolphin perceives a shark as a threat, it enters self-defense mode, allowing it to overwhelm the shark. Dolphins utilize their massive snouts as a powerful weapon to ram sharks, injuring their fragile underbellies and gills. It is the quickest way to immobilize a shark, and because dolphins are far more flexible than sharks, pods of dolphins can easily swim under the shark to conduct this attack. This is one of the numerous reasons sharks avoid dolphins. Their dread stems from the several ways in which a dolphin, despite the shark's size and deadly appearance, can overpower them. Number 1. Orca. Scientists have suspected for some years that orcas have been killing and devouring parts of great white sharks off the coast of South Africa. They now have video evidence to back it up. Drone and helicopter footage from May 2022 shows orcas, popularly known as killer whales, attacking and killing at least 2 great white sharks off the coast of Mossel Bay in South Africa's Western Cape Province. Killer whales, which are actually dolphins, are apex predators that eat fish, squid, seals, seabirds, and whales larger than themselves. Since 2017, 8 assaulted great white sharks have washed up on South African beaches. The sharks' hearts and livers were removed, indicating that they had been slaughtered by orcas. The population of great white sharks in the waters off of the coast of South Africa has also been falling in recent years, probably due to orca predation. But until recently, scientists had never observed this behavior in great detail. The drone video shows a group of 5 whales pursuing sharks for more than an hour. 2 orcas swim near a shark in the video, while a third attacks it from below and forces it to the surface. The other orcas then bite the cornered prey, creating a pool of blood. See you all next time.